Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat Hammond player. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help me out quite a bit. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what my rates look like, what sort of promos, events, etc. we have coming up. We're breaking the motorcycle. It's a shame. A lot of work went into building that motorcycle. Riding it might be fun, but I suppose as someone riding a rolly mech, we probably don't need a motorcycle, and maybe we want to stop people from being able to chase us, catch us, etc. Ha! I hear you, Game Buster. Okay, we're taking our flank. That's early. Like, I get it. It's kind of cool. I just don't think your team is relevant yet. Like, your Hanzo and Zen can see this a little bit. Your Orisa isn't contributing at all. These guys can't really see. Where's your last DPS? Your Junkrat? Oh no, your last DPS is your McCree. Is contributing a little bit. Okay, I'll live. Yeah, so you burned your adaptive shield. Your team really wasn't in the greatest position to follow up on that, and you got what? Flashed, slept, had to burn your adaptive shield, purpled. You're not gonna be able to do anything for a bit. Why would you roll back through this? You have adaptive shield. I can live with that, but I think you just shoot the Reinhardt from the side. I literally think you just go, hey, I'm going to shoot the Reinhardt from here. But okay, if you want to roll him, I guess I'll live. Why would you stop short? There's no reason to stop short. You wanted to either go through here and get the mini, or you wanted to continue back here so that now you're positioned behind these guys and you're pulling their attention. They're using some percentage of their brain power to go, oh yeah, there's a ball behind us. We have to think about the ball behind us, etc. Even if you're behind cover, etc. Like, that's what you want to do. There's not a good reason to stop short here. You're thinking you want another rule? You just can't get slept again, man. Okay, now we're behind them at least. I'm glad we got a big adaptive shield, but I don't really think we're in this. Like, you dropped your tether. You're not going back in. This is weird. This isn't where you want to end, because if you end here, that's... What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. This isn't where you want to end, because if you end here, you're shooting from the same direction as your team. So you need to sort of go back through or change your angle a little. You use your adaptive shield, which suggests that you're going to stay in the fight, but you don't want to stay in this fight, because this is a bad place for you. This is on the same sight line as your team. So I'd have preferred you not use your adaptive shield here, to be quite honest. Or if you were going to use your adaptive shield, I'd have preferred you to go, I'm going back through and adaptive shielding. Like, no. You're just burning adaptive shield time. Burning adaptive shield time. Now we've used our pile driver. Bravo, guys. Bravo. Excellent adaptive shield. Lots of value. Much happy. Would do again. Okay. Obviously, I'm, not serious there. I don't want you to use your adaptive shield like that, and we're just illustrating how much that was a completely wasted adaptive shield, and now you have to wait for it. That's a long cooldown. That is a long cooldown that you're waiting on. So please don't do that. What a hit is that Lucker skill? I don't know which hit it was. Okay, the Ana used their nade. That's a nice vulnerability. In a moment, you're going to have a window. You're going to have a window. Yes, I am. They're supposed to know better. Good. I'm surprised you were quite so slow to follow that, but okay. Okay. Your team isn't as committed to this as I'd like, but okay. And you don't have adaptive shield, and this is a pretty hard commit. You turn purple. If you'd eaten a single piece of CC, you'd have gone down. You might go down anyways. Yep. See how that was a hard commit when you didn't have adaptive shield, which is important, but also when your team wasn't really in it, their angles weren't super aggressive. They were like back here, etc. If it was like, hey, my Hanzo's up here, your team's much more in it. If your McCree's up here, your team's much more in it. If they're pushed a little closer, they're in it. If someone's around here, they're in it. But your team's positioning really wasn't very aggressive when you went in for that. I'd have preferred you to ball faster when the other ball left, but I didn't want this blind, I'm going in hard without any look of where your team was. That's not right. Okay, so you can see that your team is very far away through the walls. You can see your team through the walls. They are very far away. So you should just go back behind cover because you don't want them to accidentally look and see that you're here. And you third person, you're in ball form. So go behind cover. Don't stand here. Don't stand here. Stand. Don't balance here. Balance here. You can see around the corner well enough with your third person camera, and you also know that your team is still very far away from being in this fight. You don't want to do this. No. No. No! Why would you wait here? See, now the other ball might have seen you because he also has third person, etc. Like, this is just wrong. What if these guys were better players and checked their flanks every once in a while? There's no reason you can't be right here where they potentially won't see you if they check their flanks. Oh, it hurts. Okay, at least you got found out by the guy who was coming back from spawn. Okay, so this still isn't great, but your timing is sort of being forced. Your team isn't totally in this yet. They don't have aggressive angles. Your McCree's about to have an aggressive angle, so you're about to be in it, but this is probably the timing you're going to take anyways because it's before their McCree is back and it's your last chance before their McCree is back. So I'm going to be okay with it. What are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you staying out and popping adaptive shield? This is where you go in and pop adaptive shield. You popped adaptive shield and you are 100% not in the fight while it's happening. You did one roll through. That was your contribution to this fight. While ults were flying left and right, and unsurprisingly, because your total contribution to the fight was one roll through and not even good baiting of attention or soaking of damage or anything during the fight, you lost 2 people on your team. Like, yes, they, ulted, or yes, they used, no, they didn't even have to use good ults, did they? They used beat, and now they're using tire, but they haven't gotten value out of their tire yet. They did this with just beat, whereas your team used High Noon, is now transing. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. This is because you weren't in the fight, and this is because your timing was wrong. It's right to wait now, but honestly, I don't think you can hold this space. I think you need to leave. What are you doing? It's way too late to go for this Anna. No. No. No, you were right the first time. You might get out, but... yeah. Okay. You are no longer playing at a level. Maybe you used to be playing at a level. You are no longer playing at a level where you can just go in and force an elimination on their backline supports whenever you want by yourself when your team isn't a credible threat to their front line. Like, being able to do that doesn't just mean you can have to outplay Deanna. It means you have to outplay Deanna so fast that her team can't turn around and help her, which they're going to do within a second if no one is distracting them from your team, if they're not feeling real pressure from your team, etc. Like, it means you have to not 1v1 Deanna, it means you have to 1v1 Deanna in less than a second, which you're not going to do, or you have to be able to get an elimination on Deanna through the 1v3, which is what's actually going to happen. You're not doing that. You're not doing that against Plats. Unless you are like secretly a 4400 player, you're not regularly doing that. So you instead have to do it at proper engagement timings when the team is at least somewhat distracted. Yes, the more better than her you are, the more you can go in and get that elimination on her while your team is still like 2v6ing from losing the last fight, etc. But you're not there. I can already tell that. So like please go in when your team is a credible threat, and you didn't even go in when your team was like 2v6ing losing the fight. You went in when the fight was totally over and these guys had all the freedom in the world to turn around and help her. That is not how you have to understand engagement timings better than that as a tank. Like you are the most responsible role on your team for understanding engagement timings, and this was a travesty. Let me rewind. I was thinking I'd rewinded already. Now we're on a different engagement. Okay. Here we are. At Plat, he kind of is. Yeah, I'm with Joshua. The odds are the DPS are getting blamed? Also true. Okay, is your team sort of a credible threat now? Kind of. They're kind of a credible threat. I'd like them to take space for like 2 more seconds before you go in, but this is almost right. No minefield first? Area denied. It helps a little because your team is running more poke heavy than they are, so this minefield helps a little. I'm really surprised that we didn't get the minefield then this lane. Yeah. And I also less like frontline minefields and more like backline minefields, but hey. Yeah, you don't have pile drive, so I'm not sure what you're trying to do here. Now you have pile drive, but like this was early. If you hadn't bounced off the mine, you wouldn't have. Okay. Okay. Why did you not? You know how much health he has. Why have you not already unballed to finish him? You know exactly how much health he has. You just hit him. What are you doing? No! That took way longer than just shooting him would have, and it did not also peel the ball for your Zen. What are you... No! That just tells me you're not confident in your weapon play, but the guy has, like, no health left. And your first moment of weapon play should be accurate, because even though ball spread kicks in, like, instantly, you still do get a tiny bit more accuracy with the first moment. Lights out. Oh, this is a longer game, which means they finished this, I bet. Good. You see this? Your Ashe has an aggressive angle. Your Hanzo is storm arrowing. Your This is here. Like, yes, I'd prefer that your front line was perhaps a little bit closer, but this is good engagement timing. And as long as you have your adaptive shield, I expect you to win this fight. Okay. Please get a good adaptive shield. That was not a very good adaptive shield. I still think you have a decent... Why are you rolling out this way? No, we do not go back towards our team. I guess you got a bad enough adaptive shield. Really what you wanted to do here was you wanted to hit your slam and you wanted to roll out this way without hitting this trap, and you'd get a bigger adaptive shield because you wouldn't be denied people count from your adaptive shield by the Reinhardt shield. Your adaptive shield works in such a way that barriers block it, so the Rein's barrier being up blocks you from getting a bigger adaptive shield. You wanted to roll it this way because you want to end up like over here, because you want to be creating another angle for them to think about. Even if your poke isn't great from this angle, you want to be creating another angle for them to think about rather than rolling back towards your team. Like your team, they're already thinking about this angle. You don't want shots that are meant for you to hit your teammates, and you don't want shots that are meant for your teammates to hit you. Like, you don't want to be here. You want to be over here. You want to be over here. These are both better. You want to have rolled through here and picked up a 3-person adaptive shield. Like, that's what we're looking for.
Nap time.
Good.
30 seconds remaining.
See how you being here made the Anna leave, made the Anna go into line of sight of your team and immediately get down. Even though you didn't hit her, even though you missed your roll through here, you being here threatened her cover enough to make her leave, which meant your team could get her more easily. That's what you're looking to do. That's what we want to do on ball. We want to make it easier for our team. We want to chase people out of good cover. You know, we want to be like, hey, you got to think about me over here. You got to think about me over here. So they walk to places where a team can easily take them down. We don't have to get the elimination ourselves. If we do, it's fine. But we want to be putting pressure on them that makes it easy for our team to take them down. And we do that by going, hey, I got 50 damage on you. I got 100 damage on you. Or, hey, I compromised your good positioning. We're not looking to go, oh, I can 1v1 this Anna so hard, etc. Like, okay, sometimes you can. I don't mind if you do. What we're looking for is, hey, I enabled my Zen or my Ashe to hit this shot, etc. And I did that by moving them out of cover or by getting them to the point where they could finish them with body shots. That's what you're looking to do. Okay. Are you going to anchor point? Please anchor point. Please anchor point. Ooh. Okay. So the expectation here is that you anchor point unless your Sigma's said that he's covering it. Like, I don't mind if your Sigma covers it and you go and do stuff, but I'm surprised that you let that wick burn as far as you did. Okay. Now you're shooting him from behind, which is good. Good. And if he actually wants to go on you, you just roll away. Good. Rather than reload, you go do tether things. That's right. You go do this, and now your reload is completed. So if you want to find someone to shoot at, that's fine.
Area denied.
I'd prefer you'd minefield it a little bit further in front. Little bit further in front. It can be partially on the cart, but I want it a little bit further in front. You've still got some distance to cover for this cart. Cute tech. Good job on the cart there. Careful. He saved you from his trap with that nade.
Double kill.
Good.
My ultimate is jump. I will not.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
The champion returns.
Down.
Are we gonna take space? You're gonna roll there. That's fine. Oh, that's not so fine. I don't love this. I don't think you really know what's over here. Okay, but you're gonna land here. Fine.
Area denied. Clear impact area. Powering shields.
My ultimate. The payload moves towards its predicted outcome.
My team is back here. See my Ashe? See my Ashe's sightline? This is my Ashe's sightline. This is my Zen's sightline. My Zen's actually got a sightline. My Ashe does not have a sightline. My Mercy isn't really contributing. My Sigma's sightline isn't terribly good. And my Hanzo's got nothing. So my Ashe and my Hanzo both have nothing. Absolutely nothing. They're not contributing. My off-tank and my Zen are contributing a little bit, with the Zen contributing the most. And I am going in hard for a 1v everyone right here. Does that seem right? Does this seem like good timing? They had to surrender this space, and you're not going to have support for this. Hint, it's not right. It's not. You're up 1, so it's less bad, but you're going to trade unevenly here. I'm glad you immediately got out, but this is, again, the wrong direction. We don't roll out in front of targets. We roll out like this so that we go, hey, you have to think about me. Hey, you have to think about me, and I can go get this mega if I want to. This is where we go. We make them think about different directions. We don't want to back up towards our team. That just lets them go, oh, we continue to fire all of our attention in this direction, and it works. Good. This is good because your team is here. This is also good because we're not quite in stagger phase yet, but this is good. Why are you rolling towards your team? This way. This way. Mega. Back. Shoot. You actually wouldn't get the mega yet because you still have adaptive shield left, but this way. Please go this way. If you go this way, I'll live. If you wanted to force your way past this, I could live with that too. But please go this way. Don't go back towards your team. Not with your adaptive shield up. Good. This is an angle. Now you can go back towards your team. You don't have your adaptive shield up and you're missing meaningful health.
Get into position.
There's the pile drive. Right idea. And mine's on Carter. Fine now. You're not going to do it. Fine. We're not just going to mine right here. Like, mining right here would have been super annoying to them. Super annoying. And I get it. You're winning the fight. You don't necessarily need to. But I wouldn't hate a mine there.
Heroes never die.
Yeah, and unsurprisingly, we get a Valk because your team is deciding that you haven't fully won this yet. And that's fair. It's part of why I was good with the mines, and now we're going to get the dragon and the Valk. Oh, unfortunate. And how can you get them? No! Jesus. I'm sorry, did we say this was Plat? One ult to finish a fight where they're stalling out too well and we're closer to their spawn. Even though we're up 2, we weren't like winning very well. We weren't cleaning it up very well when we were up 2. So I'm good with 1 ult. We just used 4. We just used 4 ults. And Ghost, you were the 3rd ult to go off there. Maybe the trans went off first, so maybe you were 4th. But we had 2 ults going. Like, we just can't. We just can't. Yes, they're using 1 ult, but we just can't justify 4 ults into this. If we still lose to this tire. Okay, good. Oh, there's number 5! Funny, Game Buster. Funny. Yeah, Kego, it seems like it. You're gonna go in early, I know it. Okay. I can live with this. Are you gonna do a roll through to knock them into your team sightlines? That could be very good. Okay, right idea. Unfortunately, the knockbacks kind of aren't very good anymore. They did the 25% nerf, and these guys happened to be pressing in this direction rather than this direction when you did it, so you got very minimal knocks, which is just unfortunate. But that was the right idea. If you want to go for it again after the wall, that's fine. Got the, perfect, perfect. Right idea. And again, I don't mind that you went back to your team this time because the knock you were hitting was specifically to try to bring people into line of sight of your team and to split them up a little. You're up. You can do it again. It's fine. That's fine. You're not getting the value you want in terms of the finishes on people, partially because of the nerf, but conceptually these are right. Okay. Yeah, you had to adaptive. It's unfortunate, but you had to. You're early. You're early. Don't field yet. Don't do it. I don't love this. You don't have... Oh, yeah, that's not good. Leave. Okay. Get away from the Mei. Take the angle. This is the better place to play. Yep.
30 seconds remaining.
Stunned. You heard him get stunned. I can live with you going in there to soak damage for your team. You do have a decent amount of brawl power.
Heroes never die.
We gonna spin to win? Yeah, we could have just spun to one. But this works. Okay. So your biggest thing, most important thing by far so far is that you do not have a proper understanding of engagement timings. You simply don't have a proper timing of engagement timings. The reason that you are in Plat is because you have pretty darn good ball control and you've got some techs, etc. And I can see that that's done a decent job of getting you here, but you need to, as a Plat tank, understand engagement timings to a higher level than you do. You have to understand you want to do stuff when your team can do stuff. You can't 1v3 the Ana and it's going to be a 1v3. And I'm picking out the Ana because that's an obvious example, but we saw that lots of times throughout here where you're going in, you're doing stuff at the wrong time, etc. Like, you just can't do that. The other thing that is going to be obvious is, again, this roll through to knock them into your team's line of sight was fine, but on the majority of your roll throughs, you need to be finishing on a different angle than your team. When you're committing, when you're opening an engagement, you need to finish on a different angle than your team, especially if you committed adaptive shield. You do not, after you've committed adaptive shield, roll back to your team and let the enemy spend all of their attention in the direction of your team. You're absolutely compromising the point of being a mobile flank take, etc. by doing that. Those are your two biggest things so far. We may find other bigger, more important things, but I would be a little surprised. I think those are going to be what we need you to work on. Okay, I should catch up on chat. Odds of the DPS getting blamed. Not going to read that. Do you guys ever notice experience playing with friends makes the game a lot harder? Solo comp is fine, most enemies win. Playing with friends makes it hard. Depends on the distance between you and your friend, and it can also be you tend to be a little more in, hey, let's have fun mode. Not like, oh, we're gonna fool around troll, but you're more having conversations, etc. in downtime, or more enjoying time with your friend, and you're less focused on working towards your improvement, etc. You get a little distracted as you don't think quite as hard about the engagement timing, quite as hard about when to use your ult, etc. You get a little more frustrated about, hey, what's going on, etc. when things aren't working, as opposed to when you're by yourself because you're doing something together that's supposed to be fun, etc. So that tends to be what happens there, Game Buster. There's also sometimes you're at different SRs and that can give you games that you're not used to the difficulty of. Okay. It also, yes, Blau's correct, does try to place you against similar groups, and if those groups are practiced, tryharding, etc., it can be tough if one group is in sort of a more let's have fun mode and the other is like a practiced, we've worked in groups before, etc. We are a 3-person unit, a 6-person unit that knows how to do, etc. too deep into that conversation. Kind of, yeah. If you're gonna play with people, you either need to accept that, hey, you know, we might lose some SR here, or it needs to be with people that you practice with. If you play together a lot, it can be fine because you get practice, like a Winston and a Genji that get practice playing together, a Mercy and an Echo that get practice playing together, an Ashe and a Mercy that get practice in playing together, you know, Ball and a Sigma, the old meta that got practice playing together, a Diva and a Winston that get practice playing together, and you know, get really good at comboing their self-destruct plus primal to knock people into the self-destruct. Like, if you're going to play with someone, you probably want to play with them a lot and get better together, or you need to just accept that, hey, I'm doing this a little bit for fun, and these aren't going to be the best games. Good, this is an angle, fits every rank review. Yeah, well, Overwatch, a lot of Overwatch is about, do we have more and greater angles than they have? If so, we're probably winning. That's the thing. Okay. Oh, did we get a person? Didn't use Bob, though. Oh, because we didn't use Bob in the thing when we used 6 ults. Bob will do something soon. Oh, hi, Francisco. You've seen me yawn like 4 times now. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little tired. Thank you for the like and subscribe, Francisco, there. Okay, and back to our reviewing. We're all cut up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Don't really like that tether. You were trying to knock away a ball that showed up. Don't really like that pile drive either. You could have just used your weapon play. Right idea. Okay, this is good. I don't know if this is just what you always do on defense or if this is a proper understanding that your team has better poke than they do, so you want to be peeling the other ball, not letting the other ball in, etc. If so, very good. Even if not, it's still good. I hope you understand why. But this is good. This was less good. I suppose I should say a little more than this was less good. You've used your adaptive shield. That's relevant. You've used your adaptive shield. You can't push into a McCree group when you've used your adaptive shield if you don't know his flash status. You can't, like, here you have a little adaptive shield left, but this is kind of scary to me. And now you're using tether in a place you don't have adaptive shield and you're using tether. If he flashes you, you're going to be in a situation where, yeah, and he does have it, where you... I don't know why it's taking me here when I select ball, where you don't have a way out because you can't tether again because your tether's on cooldown and you don't have an adaptive shield you can pop and you're surrounded by at least 3 enemy heroes. So you can't go into McCree's when you don't have adaptive shield available. Like, that's just kind of reality. Sorry. And if you do, what you do is you sort of bait into them without using your tether, so you at least have your tether to get out after they use flash. Yeah, you see this? You got nothing. If he hits another shot, you're in trouble, but you have your harmony and you do get that. So that's good, but hey. This is a little better because you'll have tether to get out, but I still don't love it. Good. Discord was on him. We got the shot. Are we accidentally going to go the right way? We're purple, but yeah, you have good bulk. You have good control of exactly where you want to go with your tethers for a plat ball, and so your mechanics are serving you well, but some of your timing and some of your understanding of the matchups is not.
My ultimate is almost ready.
System initialized.
Ready for transcendence.
It's okay. Your team's angles aren't super aggressive for this. This is a Reinhardt. They're not really committed yet. I don't love this. I think you're a touch early. I'd like about second and a half from now. Good, good. Roll out to the... Good. Now let's roll away because we don't want this McCree to get in flash range. Roll away. Good. Even though you've sent a Reaper into your team, it's good because you've sent a Reaper into the concave without the rest of his team. You delayed for the instant to get your cooldown back, I like. And again, your roll is generally going to be this way. Maybe you're going this way to try to get behind cover. Maybe. No, you had no idea where the Kree was.
Heroes never die. This is not the
Nice attack. You guys are trolling the new viewer pretty hard. I love it.
Speed maximum.
My ultimate is charging.
Let's go back.
My ultimate is charging.
It's happening enough. Okay. Is this really the one you wanted, as opposed to going over here to look for this? Okay, we got this, but I'm surprised that this was where you wanted to fight. I guess your thought is you're keeping the Lucio in the fight for your team, but you're really not. Like, your team is pretty far back angle-wise. Ah, no, they pushed up more than I thought. You're good. Leave. This is fine that you're trying to push him in. It just doesn't work because they nerfed our boop so hard and he has steadfast. Okay. Why are we knocking him away? Why would we knock him away? We don't want him to go further. Our team is clearly pushing up, trying to get the stagger. We would roll ourselves over here, or over here, where we can then help pressure. We would not knock him away when our team is clearly trying to push up for the stagger.
60 seconds remaining.
I'm on fire. Ready for my ultimate.
Almost.
Bad guys, heads up.
Zen.
Ready for transcendence.
I don't think you can do anything with this. No one's going to be able to hit these shots. Look at how bad your Zen and McCree's angle is. Like, here's your McCree. Excuse me. Here's your McCree. Okay, wrong person. Here's your Zen. Okay, so definitely neither of them can hit it. But, like, you're going into a place where your team can't help. If your team was up here, etc., this would be fine. You knock them up, your team hits the finishing shot, totally fine. That's exactly what you want to do as a tank. You're enabling your team to get eliminations, etc., and this would be fine. But your team just isn't in a place where they can follow up on it, and you've got to be aware of what your team can and can't follow up on. So this is just you going in, spending a meaningful cooldown in pile drive, and you're going to trade out health unevenly. They're going to hurt you a lot more than you hurt them. They're going to get healed back up by support stuff and get ult charge for that, and you're going to get healed up by health packs. This is a bad trade unless it's at a time when your team has a real chance of getting an elimination off of it. All good. Later, Francisco. The review will be here to see in the future. It's will be saved as a VOD. same address.
Denied.
10 seconds.
Okay, you're choosing to peel ball. I can still live with that. You're not choosing to peel ball. You're choosing to fight Reaper. Okay.
Heroes never die.
You're on the angle. There's just not enough to do. You just need to stall cart.
Yo, coming at you.
System initialized.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Okay, where are we going? Probably just shoot at that. That's unfortunate.
Combat effectiveness. Denied.
Do you know he's low health? Okay.
Engaging.
Good. This angle's nice. Good. That was kind of before your team was ready to fully help, but you knew that you had a weak hero to chase, etc. So I'm going to live with it.
Repairing.
This is peeling. Their ball slammed in, so you're slamming to stop them from following up. And you were enabling your McCree. Maybe that was called. Yeah, I'll be live tomorrow. I generally do a couple in the morning and a couple in the evening, but morning can get a little late for me, and evening can get a little early for me. So you know, you'll see it.
System restored.
My ultimate
But yeah, see you then. See you then.
Full speed. Landing.
This is just cart stalling. It's just you and Sigma. This is real, but you're trying. You have to touch again. Good finish. Good. Now you guys are in this. This is good work that you've done. This is very good work that you've done as your team has been trickling its way back in, and now you guys have won the fight. It's good stuff. And I don't mind going for the hero play type stuff that you've been doing here and mostly made work, but the reason I don't mind it is because you're at a checkpoint. If you drop this checkpoint, your team loses a fair amount of stuff. I don't want this to be the norm, because even though this worked out here, more often than not, this won't work out when you're 2v5ing, etc. I'm thrilled that it did, that your team got back, that everything worked, but you want to go for stuff when it's higher probability. The more likely outcome here is you were got forced out, had to go get health packs, etc., and were getting health packs when your team got here and weren't helping them, etc. Totally fine that you did it this time because you had to. If you didn't, they get the checkpoint, etc. But that's appropriate when they're about to get the checkpoint or about to finish the map. That's not appropriate all the time to try to go do the hero play stuff. But it was nice.
Heroes never die.
My ultimate is almost
This is good. You can chase for it. Good.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Should work. My Discord is open, and the link in the YouTube is a permanent invite.
You should be at peak performance levels.
Well, I think anyone can generate a different invite for you. Maybe that'll work. I'm not going to do it right now, but if someone else in chat does.
30 seconds remaining.
Activating shield.
Victory is near.
Okay, I'm getting distracted by watching chat. We only have a minute left. Let's do it right.
My sound barrier is almost ready.
Did you check on your team? Okay. This isn't great because, again, if we look at our team's angles, they don't have sight lines on where we're going in. I know you probably think you're going to knock people in, but this is kind of far to be expecting to knock them in. This looks early.
30 seconds.
Okay, you were trying to get over here. That's fine, and you're trying to bait attention. I can live with it, but you had to spend your adaptive shield for this, which is really, really bad. Now you're actually going in, and this is an okay time to be going in, but you don't have an adaptive shield to use, and that's a problem. You also don't have your pile drive because you used it to go take that position, so I don't love this. You're pretty weak as a ball right now. And now you're finishing and shooting from here. I'd have actually rathered you just wait until they got into position, then rolled out here, and shot from here, or shot from here until you had some cooldowns back and could go do a meaningful roll through, either with pile drive, with adaptive shield, something. Why did you roll into this? Like, you didn't have to. Sometimes you can roll into it to go, oh, I'm going to take some damage, tank some damage that are meant for other people, but you don't have a ton of health to play with right now. Well, now you do because you had a giant adaptive shield. I guess you did have a lot of health to play with, and you did just get a giant adaptive shield. Never mind. It looked like you had less health because I was looking at the health bar, not at the new giant adaptive shield that you have number. Or sound barrier number, I guess.
10 seconds.
Oh boy. He's gonna take you. He's gonna melee you? Wow.
Weapons linked.
Overtime.
If that Moira knew you were so low health, but she didn't. Stand on and fight.
Clear impact area. Activating shield.
Your Sigma clearly has this under control. You can take different angles.
Top speed.
Surprised we didn't get the pile drive when you were over cart there, but that's okay. Okay. So, good stuff, particularly on the defense, but you desperately need to fix your engagement timing understanding. It is going to be exactly what we talked about after the first round, where fixing your engagement timing understanding, particularly for your offensive round, is going to be absolutely huge. You can do some hero stuff, and I've seen you do some hero stuff, but understanding when to pull that out is absolutely critical. Where, hey, you can go for the hero stuff, the low probability stuff, when you have to, when they're about to get a checkpoint if you don't, when they're, about to cap the map if you don't, when you're behind in a fight but you're still in the fight type stuff. Like, yes, but you don't want to go into those 2v5s unless your hand is forced, etc. You want to do this stuff, and you will find the game is so much easier if you do the same stuff that you're doing, but you do it when your team is a credible threat. It'll mean you don't get to do it quite as often because your team isn't a credible threat as often, but when you do it, the team will be distracted, the team will be weakened by shots that they're taking, their resources will be drained. It'll be so much more powerful when you do that stuff. So don't necessarily think of it as I'm being a distraction from your team if you don't like it to think of it that way. Think of it as your team is a distraction for you to go do stuff. If that helps you, you can do it that way. Really, you're distractions for each other. But again, you don't want to go back to your, you want to go when your team is a credible threat. That's when I want you doing your work. The other thing is when you do your rollaways, you need to fix your adaptive shield use in general, but when you do your rollaways with an adaptive shield up in particular, I do not want you to go in the direction of your team. I want you to fight from a different angle. Like we saw with that Anna where you went to a different angle, you force her into the open and your team takes her, etc. Like that's what I want you to do. Or so that if the Reinhardt is shielding from your team, he's not shielding you because you're on a different angle. You can exist in a little bit more dangerous of an angle. While you have that adaptive shield, your team, there's no reason for you to be with your team. You don't need to be behind your Sigma shield, be behind your Rein shield. You can find your own cover, sort of, plus you have your adaptive shield when you're behind the team from an angle on the enemy team, etc. Okay, I hope that helps. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe. If you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below, see what rates look like, all that stuff. If there's any questions, I'll take them. Let's take a look. We're talking about that. Who liked the video? I did. You should all like the video, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Ball is decent. Nice. This ball has good mechanics in general. This ball has worked on specific ball tech in general, and you can tell. They know how to do some wall climb stuff. They know some of the paths to roll stuff on. They know exactly where they can tether in a lot of situations. They hit some interesting tethers to change angles, etc. Like this ball has good ball mechanics. They've clearly practiced ball, but they need some fundamental tank of hey understanding the engagement timing, hey understanding the angles, etc. So I'd say they've done the hard work, and once they now do the mental work, they're gonna improve quite a bit, because they had to get here mostly off of that ball tech, those mechanics, etc., and happening to do things at the right time. Okay. I always open the videos just to like them, even if I don't have time to watch them. Temporal deserves much more subs than this. Thank you, Gamebuster. I really appreciate that. You should ask your parents for help. Not a bad idea. Let's get 3 more likes. Yeah, I would love to get 3 more likes. Okay. Maybe they locked something down. Nah. One more like knowledge versus skill. Yeah, exactly. It's not fully knowledge versus skill. You do have to internalize some of this engagement timing understanding. Like, yes, it's the knowledge of what an engagement timing looks like, but you still do need to internalize it to habitualize the, hey, I'm checking on my team. I understand what it looks like. Like, you could understand I should go in when my team kit is a credible threat, etc. But the more you play, the more you get the understanding that, oh, this is what a credible threat looks like. Because my team being a credible threat looks different when my team is brawl versus dive versus poke. You follow what I'm saying? Or some mixed bag of those heroes, etc. Cool. Let's get 800 subs. Yeah, we should be pretty close to that. I'm hopeful that we can, get up to something like by the end of the month, like 820, 830, maybe even 850. That would be great. Uh, even liked Temporal's Bastion videos. Thank you, Blah. I know that hurt you a little, so thank you. Oh, and your company account liked the video. Even better. Okay. Looks like we're good. I'm going to take a break, but I will be back for some stuff this evening. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.